What's good, family? It's your man the YB in the flesh, 100%. Gotta say a big shout out to my doggy, Where's Andreas, for coming through and booting up that coin, your man the YB. You listen, Where's Andreas knows the YB knee coin right now, 100%. So, sad news. You've seen the title, you've probably seen this one already. You see the video at the start of my video. And so next, General, rest in peace to that South African Donny, who fought his last fight, and his his eyes shined for the last time, shall we say, in this week. Now, it's not really clear what happened. In the footage, you see his bonce, you see him get hit in the bonce with a jab. The commentators say, oh, he got hit with a strong jab, and actually, he was pressuring the cat to the ropes. He was the one coming forward. He's coming forward, he's wading forward, slipping, sliding. His bonce gets clipped with a big stiff jab. And then the referee actually splits up to save the other guy. Meanwhile, after he's finished checking, the other guy's okay, he turns around and my man is on some wiggy ting. And he ends up just wigging out and doing some shadow boxing. Well, obviously, his parasympathetic nervous system, the automatic one, was kicked in. He was just trying to have squabbles. He was trying to squabble with the ghosts. Yeah, but obviously, one of them ones. The referee, rightly so, stopped the fight, thank God, because, well, I guess it doesn't really matter now because he didn't make it anyway, but still, good referee clocked on that the guy was having serious neurological difficulties. The ref called the fight off, at which point the medical agencies came in and tried to check him out and tried to revive him. He never made it out again. Now, there's been a lot of speculation. Errol Spence came through and said, Errol Spence said he's seen this kind of thing before, and this is what happens when people go too hard in the paint and they leave all of their bonds cells in the gym. Yeah? Meaning that people do way too much sparring, they spar way too hard, way too often, 5-6 times a week, or 3-4-5 times a week for 20 years, day in, day out. And I'm not being funny, we all love James Toney, but here's another one. Even to this day, he's still sparring. And luckily, obviously, his genetic makeup is more robust to some extent. His lights haven't just been turned out, but you can see the deterioration. We know the bonds are meant to be rattled a whole bunch. It's bad enough going in there and actually boxing. I've never agreed with having sparring wars, and that's why I do like the Wankerbank gym, the Winkerbank gym, Wankerbank, whatever it's called. I do like that guy's gym. I do like Dom Ingle, Brendan Ingle. I like what he was doing, because in Brendan's gym, yes, they do head sparring, but they'd focus more on body sparring. Yeah, body sparring is what you do to condition your body and obviously condition your body and also condition all your muscles to punch and whatnot. But head sparring should be used sparingly. Yeah, it should be used for accuracy, really. You don't need to pound in on someone's head. Where's the upside there? What do you really get out of that? We know the flip side, the risk and reward. What are you getting out of that? You can go on a bag and hit it really hard. Of course, the bag isn't as specific as actually in real life, but still, tap the shoulder, punch the shoulder. If you can hit someone's shoulder, or if you can hit someone square in the chest or square on the shoulder, trust me, a shoulder is smaller than a head. So if you can hit someone on the shoulder, you can hit them on the head, 100%. So I respect Errol Spence for making that clear, and that's really for me. I don't believe boxing is that dangerous, as in the 30 minutes in the ring. I do concur with Errol Spence. The wear and tear is in the gym. People are sparring 3 times a week. That's your head doesn't care whether it's a real fight or a training one. It don't care. Shots are shots. So if you're only fighting 2 real fights a year, that's not when the damage is going to come. The damage, I mean, look at Gerald McLennan as well. Another example. He went into that fight with neurological issues from having sparring wars. There's nothing smart, and that's why I've said, people criticise me, but I say boxing is full of a lot of low IQ meatheads. People who aren't thinking dynamically. People who just say, oh well, that's how we did it. Back in the 60s, we just punched until we couldn't punch no more. Well, that's great for you, Mr. 40 IQ, but trying to thinking strategically and intellectually about this, for me it's all about how do we create the best boxer? Not how do we do what we've done for the last 100 years, how do we create the best boxer? And the best boxer for me isn't going to have his head rattled 4 times a week, every week for 10 years. No. Yeah? We'd be doing head sparring extremely sparingly. Probably, to be honest, I'd say, well, I can't see more than once a week, to be honest. Once a week within camp as well. And the other times, pure body sparring. Heavy body sparring. I think that's fine. Toughen the body up. And to be honest with you, the way boxing is today, how much body punching do we see? It's like, okay, no. I wouldn't mind seeing some more, to be honest. I wouldn't mind seeing some more body work. So it's clearly people just headhunt. I mean, I've been one of the biggest critics of Anthony Johnston. Yeah? He was fighting Andy Ruiz, huge bulbous belly. He didn't throw one body punch. He didn't throw one power punch to the body the whole night in either fight. You wonder about these trainers, don't you? $1 million trainers, and AJ's fighting a dude with the biggest belly. His belly, even though Andy Ruiz has this kind of defense here with his chin down, elbows in, his belly would just be bursting out of the side. He was screaming, AJ, whip a hook there, whip an uppercut, dig a right hand. AJ didn't throw. Watch him back. AJ spent, 20 rounds in the ring with Ruiz. He ain't throw one body shot the whole night. So it's no wonder these Don's bouncers are all rattled up. You got people like AJ in there just winging away to the head, day in, day out. Not even thought about the body. Oops. People need to take a step back and start actually thinking about what they're doing. The processes. How do we create the best boxer? Not how do we create the best weightlifter. Not how do we create the best stepper. That's the problem. There's another problem. Everyone trying to do this, I've increased my stepper score. I've increased my rowing score. I've increased my cycling score. They're doing all these weird, it's like, I know. Yeah, Dillian White, you always see him on the bike. Gets in the ring. Does nothing for 6 rounds. And he's gassed. Dillian was gassed after 6 rounds. And he hadn't done nothing. Dillian, genuinely, yeah. Dillian White had scored imagine this, yeah. Dillian White had been in the ring with Tyson Fury for 6-7 rounds, and genuinely he didn't score 1 point. He didn't score 1 punch. He didn't hit Fury clean the whole night. But yet, we saw him on the bike. Yeah, my bike score's improving. How's that translating? How is Dillian White's bike score improving? And not just Dillian, but all of them, AJ as well. Always on the bike, always doing these weird things. And they get in there and they're gassed after 4 rounds. Yeah? Gassed. And in fact, I'm pretty sure AJ's one of the guys who gets hit to the body a few times and he curls up. He don't like it. One of them ones. And that's why if you do body sparring a lot, naturally your body toughens up. And I'm not sure whether that's the thing, people who are low IQ, yeah, you can't necessarily blame them because they don't know what they don't know. Yeah? But I think sometimes people actually think that, in fact, I've seen some videos on YouTube recently, yeah, of people actually training to be hit in the head. There's some low IQ meathead trainers out there, yeah, who have the brainwave to say, okay, well, we know that if we hit something, the body repairs stronger. Honestly, I've seen videos of trainers lining their students up and then Well, I've seen megalomaniac trainers lining their students up and then clapping them all on the jaw, one by one. Clap, clap, clap. Now, I'm not sure. I reckon that's probably a bit sadistic. I think some of their trainers are going off and jerking off around the corner in the toilet, to be honest with you. Weird. But it's things like that. You can't, the chin is degenerative. It gets worse over time. No one's chin starts off at a point and gets bashed a whole load and you see it get stronger. I've never seen. Show me that. Honestly, you know me, I'm empirical, yeah? Show me the research or show me the evidence that you've seen it. You can say, YB, that's wrong. Look at this fighter. He took a whole bunch of his bonds, his whiskers got chipped a whole bunch and his chin got better. You don't see that one. To the contrary, there's a whole bunch of examples of dudes with ice chins. The best example for me would be Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell was the Iceman. His chin was known to be like a block of ice. 2-2s. Chuck Liddell at the end of his career, we just saw him the other year against Tito. Got clipped by a dude who can't punch. Tito. Iced. In fact, Tito himself. Tito Ortiz fought Anderson Silva. Clipped with one shot. Iced. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of dudes who had solid chins. And now, a gust of wind has them ice cold. Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I'm not sure, I mean, naturally, violent sports, they attract meatheads. That's an unfortunate reality. And that's why, well, I was about to say that's why really fighters need to select their trainers better. But, I mean, for the most part, fighters are boneheads as well. So it's one of them one, you know, boneheads don't know what they don't know either. Look at AJ, got a bonehead trainer in Fernando. Yeah. 2 bonehead trainers, Robert Garcia and Fernando. It's like, okay, no. Bonehead dog. I mean, they love boneheads over there. If you're a bonehead, AJ wants you. Honestly, I applied to one of AJ's jobs. I said, AJ, yeah? And in fact, that's what I should do. I should email AJ now saying, listen, AJ, my IQ's 40. He'd be like, listen, come in. Yeah, I'm sure we've got a position for you, boss. But anyway, big tragedy here. I'm not sure what the answer is, apart from every single boxing trainer should approach head damage should be approached sparingly. Yeah? Use it should really and even to be honest, I'm skeptical of loading up to the head at all, to be honest. Even when you do full body sparring, in my opinion, every single fighter should be briefed and told. If I had a top athlete, yeah. In fact, if I was training any boxing athletes, I'd brief both men. That's the problem. There's way too much testosterone or perceived testosterone in boxing. People are scared to say, you know what, we're going easy today. Or not. Or people are scared to say, don't go hard to the head. Everyone wants to appear macho. Oh, well, I'm not going to say don't do this because it appears for me to be weak. Do you know what I'm saying? If I approached the other team and said, we're going easy to the head, that's going to make me look beater. I don't care what it makes me look. Again, what's the goal here? Is the goal to look masculine in front of a whole bunch of dudes who you're never going to meet again? Or is the goal to produce the best athlete? My goal is to produce the best athlete. And on that basis, the best athlete don't have his bonds, leave his best years, leave the best part of his chin in the gym. What's the point? Leaving all the good chin juices in the ring. What's the point in that? Oh, I'll tell you what we can do. Let's go full hardness to the head. And let's leave all the best chin juices in the gym. Most of these fighters, yeah, the best part of their chin was 5 years ago in some gym somewhere that no one ever see. You want to save your bonds, you want to save your whiskers for when it matters. When you're getting paid millions of bucks. Or when you're getting paid on fight night. That's when you want to rely on your chin. It's no good having a warrior's chin in sparring and then you get in a ring and you're chinless. No good. Yeah? And that's way too much the case. People should be told, in my opinion, 9 times out of 10 in full sparring, I'd be briefing both my athletes, listen, we go 110% to the body, 110% to the shoulders, 110% to the chest, but 10 or 20%, pull your shot. If you want to throw it hard, pull it at the end, pull it. Yeah, when you throw a right hand, for example, any power shot, when you throw a power shot, you can accelerate at the start and pull it at the end. Yeah, bottom line, pull it. All big heavy shots, initiate them, which gets the timing down. And that's really the bulk of it. You want the timing down pat. You don't really need that impact. Impact training, that's what the bag's for. If you want to work on becoming more of a devastating puncher, believe it or not, becoming a devastating puncher is not developed in sparring. Power, raw power, is developed on the bag, on the pads as such. That's when you can actually load up and break the body down and tear the muscles. But sparring's for finesse. Sparring is for strategy. Yeah? And there's very little strategy about winging away at someone's bonds. Like I said, if I was training someone, it would be accelerate, load up at the start of the movement and pull it back. Yeah? Pull it back like someone's, you know what I'm saying? One of them ones, yeah, pull it 100%. Load up and pull it back at the end. Yeah? Wing it and ease it off at the end. That's what it should be for headshots. I don't see any. I'd love to have a debate on anyone disagreeing. Who disagrees and says no, and maybe, like I said, maybe once a month, or maybe into a fight, maybe 4 weeks, the 4 weeks into a fight as such. You want to do one a week, going heavy, to replicate the full 4 weeks, or however you do it. Obviously the last 2 weeks you're probably not doing much, but so the 6 weeks out, once a week, if you want to go fully replicate, that makes sense. Okay, we're 6 weeks away from the fight date. The 2 weeks before we're going to do nothing. Then 4 weeks we'll just do every Saturday night at 10 p.m. to replicate the fight time. We're going to go a proper full body, full power. That's it. And if you're fighting 3 to 3 weeks a year, that adds up. That's still 12 times. You're taking full headshots, but 12 times a year is better than some of these guys are doing 12 times a fortnight. Seriously. Some dudes are sparring in the gym every other day. Madness. But yeah, sad for this Don. 100%. This needs to be, and this really is a textbook case of not leaving it all in the gym, because he wasn't taking damage in the fight. Same as McLennan. McLennan really didn't take much damage in the Nigel Benn fight. And actually, people were saying he was blinking and demonstrating neurological issues during fight week, blinking and whatnot. So, and I'm not being funny, I remember that goober. Gerald McLennan had a proper goober in his camp, a cheerleader. He was like a Don King knockoff, and he used to wear army overalls. And you can just tell he's a proper meathead. You can just imagine, just hyping everyone up to have a war. And that is honestly a chronic problem within boxing. Boxing IQ is a premium in this sport. Most of the time, it's big burly meathead dons who just want to bang away and not think too much about it. And it's a shame. But that's why your man, the YB, here to change it all up. Bringing IQ straight into the game. 100%, no doubt. But rest in peace to the young buck. He up there now. Yeah, 1,000,000%.